Right Network. Mobilizing, countering the left, energizing the right. New Right Network, home of the New Right movement.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to New Right Network's original series, SmythTV. Your host, Brian Smith, giving you all the breaking news of the day, wrapping it all up, making sense of it, exposing the fake news, and giving you the real news every single night, Monday through Friday, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern. If this is the first time you've been on the show, crush and share, crush to follow. Thank you very much. And just to give you kind of a heads up on how the show works, down in the description below, there's a link that says Show Notes. Click that. That'll take you right over to newrightnetwork.com, where the show notes, all 3 pages, have been created as an article. So you can follow along through the show. Not only that, but you could share the link of the show notes, because the show is actually embedded in the article as well, so that your friends and your family can check the show out and follow along. And down in the show notes, you will see different links. Obviously, Wayne Dupree, who comes on right after us at 8 o'clock. We're on at 7. Wayne Dupree's right after us at 8 o'clock. Not only that, but you also got the Patreon, the PayPal, and the Cash Me. And if you have iHeartRadio or you like to listen to the show on audio only, there's the link for the iHeartRadio. And just so you don't miss a single show or any of this information whatsoever, go down there in the description below and click on Telegram. It's an app you have on your phone, and there'll be one text a day that just shows you all the different links, the Facebooks, the Twitters, the YouTubes, and the link to the show notes, so that you can stay abreast on everything going on. And for those of you over on Parler.com, so we're over there as well, in the link right there, take you right over to our page. We try to stay up and follow back those that follow us as well on Parler and on Twitter. If you guys need to build your following on Twitter, absolutely follow us. We'll follow you back. And if we're not, and we should be, please DM me, send me a direct message, and I will make sure that we are following you back. And so jump over to Smyth.tv. There's a lot of other great information there, right there as well. Donald Trump's live Twitter feed. So while you're over on the website, you will not miss a single tweet from our president. And with technology that we have, folks, this is absolutely incredible in the time and era that we live in. We're connected to Donald Trump on a minute-to-minute basis. Our president, we're connected with each other on a minute-to-minute basis through social media and through this medium as well. And this election that's coming up, this is going to be like something or nothing you've ever seen before. Absolutely. It is ramping up. We're getting fired up. People are getting connected and staying connected. For those of you who joined Twitter back in 2015 just because Donald Trump was on, fantastic. Think about that, and then fast forward to today, how versed you are in social media and the Twitter sphere, and how connected we all are. Think back in the past elections, when maybe a candidate was saying something and you didn't know whether it was true or not. Well, right here we expose it as fake news. Social media exposes fake news. We got Kamala Harris being a liar. We got Joe Biden being a liar. Nancy Pelosi being defeated. We're seeing all these things, and we're telling each other. It's a big, giant echo chamber, if you will. And so we're able to stay connected, stay confident in what we know are the facts, and continue to move forward and tell our friends and our family about it. So real quick, we'll jump into what's going on in the news today. We've got some incredible Trump news that, folks, he is doing more than any president I have ever heard of or seen do before in all of 243 years, coming up our birthday here, coming up in a couple of days, July 4th. It is just phenomenal. We're going to go down the list of the achievements and the things that he's doing now over in North Korea with the G20 summit, South Korea, what's he doing with China, and then juxtapose, we'll show you and expose the Democrats for who they are. Democrats running 2020. It's getting really, really bad. If you guys, some of you have been telling me that I'm not going to watch the Democrat Smith debates, and my mom actually said she jumped in and she watched a little bit, but then had to ask me, was the blackout real? I said, yeah, absolutely. It blacked out. And I sent her Carpe Dunkem's meme. And so it's just good times. But yes, I must juxtapose the greatness that Donald Trump is doing to make America great, and then what the Democrats are doing. They have literally become a terrorist organization. Keith Ellison, all the likes. Everything that the Democrats are doing are negative for this country, are trying to ruin this country, and now it's a fact. Democrats are terrorists. They're joining up and linking arms with Antifa. So we'll talk about that, talk about what's going on in Portland, Oregon, all the violence and everything that happened up there, as well as what's really going on the border and the border bill. What happened, Nancy? I thought you were a champion. Yeah, no. My Donald Trump's making it happen, and they're really upset about it. And then we have some things that are going on the border with ISIS and Mexico, some breaking news, some information that we'll get to you on that. And then again, like I was saying, Portland, Oregon violence. And now we've got the D.C. July 6th Freedom Rally, and we've got Antifa. So I'm just warning everybody going there, December 6th this weekend, D.C. free speech rally. Be safe, be aware, have your head on a swivel. And then we'll wrap up the show with some incredible accomplishments from Donald Trump and some great news about Christianity and where it is flourishing at. You'll be excited because when I read the article, I was absolutely thrilled. And starting to show off with a great tweet from our president, @Real Donald Trump. Stock cap best first half since 1997. Wall Street Journal, our country is doing great. And then see right underneath Donald Trump's tweet is, chat by CC, President Trump is always focused in on making America great. Guys, I mean, he was hired to do a job. That's what he's doing. It is just unbelievable how he's exposing these politicians, the deep staters, the people that are absolutely fighting him tooth and nail, left and right. And this is why they hate so much. This is the anger that is coming out of them because he's actually doing something quite amazing. He's doing what he said he was going to do. That's first and foremost. And not only that, but he's doing it at breakneck speed. As an efficient businessman, now being an efficient president of the United States, never have been a politician, bought and paid, and we see how Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, goes to John McCain, Jeff Flake, all the likes that are on the dole, not Donald Trump. And this is world leaders very frustrated with Donald Trump because he's beholden to the American people. And this Scavino 45. This is the assistant to the president, director of social media. An F-35 fighter aircraft flies over the White House moments after president and Polish president sign a deal where Poland will be purchasing 32 American-made F-35s from the United States. F-35 current cost between $94 million and $122 million for the F-35B. So the F-35A, $94 million, the F-35B, $122 million. Let's just say $100 million, right? Right down the middle at 32 aircraft at $100 million. We're talking about $3.2 billion. This is what Donald Trump is doing. That's a lot of scratch, guys. Thank you, sir, for doing what you can do to help make America great again. The battle with China, as Donald Trump meets with China, also meets with Japan, working on these tariffs and the tariff wars. Donald Trump absolutely not backing down. Author of The Art of the Deal. I mean, this is the master at work. Thank you so much. And folks, if you've been with the show for a while, you know that we've been reporting and talking about General Flynn for a very, very long time, and frustrated with his lawyers and the people that he's had surrounding him. And we've got some breaking news, some great news now. As you know, this @Jelly_cat, Judge Emmett Sullivan gave Sidney Powell 2 months to catch up on Flynn's case and order a status report at the end of August. Together at last, work it @Sidney Powell 1, forever support @Jen Flynn. May true justice prevail. Yep, absolutely, folks. We're good friends with General Flynn and Flynn Jr. and had spoken to Sidney Powell multiple times. I am absolutely thrilled that she is taking this case. She knows the ins and outs of Spygate. She wrote a book about it. She knows exactly how it fell together and all the perpetrators involved, the seditious acts and the attempt to overthrow our country. She has her finger on the pulse of the entire Spygate, the attempt to coup, and now defending, working with General Flynn. Absolutely. He was railroaded and should absolutely be set free of all of this BS. But the problem is, how do you get your money back? How do you get that life back? I mean, General Flynn, bankrupt, had to sell his house, all this stuff. I mean, the Mueller gang, the Mueller mob, absolutely ruining people's lives. But at last, we've got somebody fighting for General Flynn, somebody in his corner. Thank you so much, Sidney Powell. And so what has transpired in the past few days, Donald Trump going to North Korea, South Korea, the G20 summit, just making his rounds while I was over there. Oh, my goodness, Democrats taking shots at him, making fun of him, trying to do everything they can while Donald Trump is overseas. This is how pathetic the Democrat Party has become. But as we see now, Donald Trump, well respected by these Asian leaders, well respected by Japan, well respected by China, and absolutely bringing China back to the table, talking about tariffs, working out this deal. And this is the other thing that nobody's talking about, folks. This tariff war with China is just absolutely destroying America in the sense that China is ripping us off. Tunes of hundreds of billions and trillions of dollars that China is getting away with scot-free and has been getting away with forever. Thank you, Joe Biden. Thank you, the Clintons. Thank you, the politicians that want to make money off of the American people and get bought and paid for by China. This is what has to stop, and this is why they hate so much. And at White House, President at Real Donald Trump is wheels up for Osaka, Japan to attend the 2019 G20 summit. And for those of you audio only, this is President Trump stepping off Marine One, walking across the tarmac, getting onto Air Force One to head to Japan. This is cool. This is what's really cool. This is the cool stuff, guys. For those of you who have been on the show for a while, I'm an Air Force veteran. And the number one thing that I truly miss, I really, really miss, I miss being on a flight line. I miss being there on the tarmac and watching the aircraft take off and land. And this is awesome. At White House, posting up videos of our president, getting off of Marine One, getting on Air Force One. Guys, we've never had video, audio in real time like this ever before. And this is what's so exciting about social media and about being plugged in. And folks, if you like what you hear on the show and you find it as exciting as I do, crush the share, crush the follow, jump over to SmythTV, become a Patreon, or hit the PayPal or the Cash Me. And as I was saying, the Democrats, CNN, so much hate for this president, Acosta. So much hate and so much venom. Not only that, but Acosta is so bad that the press pool, actually, most of the press pool don't like him either. This is how bad this guy is. So while Donald Trump was over there in Osaka, Japan for the G20 summit, I don't know if Acosta was, why they give him the microphone to ask questions beyond me. But this is what happened. And this at Benny Johnson, ha 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 ha. What a loser.
When you were asked about the case of Jamal Khashoggi, you did not respond to that question in front of the Saudi
I don't know
conference.
that anybody asked me.
Were you afraid of offending him on that subject?
No, not at all. I don't really care about offending people. I sort of thought you'd know that.
Thank you, sir, Donald Trump. Thank you very much, sir, for what you do. This is ridiculous. He's talking about Khashoggi being murdered. I'm going to tell you right now, folks, that whole thing was just an awful lie from the Democrats. From what we were finding out, Khashoggi was part of a terrorist organization and not so much a journalist. Yet journalism seems to defend that left and right, as they defend the Democrats. So part and parcel, it's all one and the same. But Donald Trump representing America very well. Thank you, sir. And this is another tweet out by Donald Trump. I am in South Korea now. President Moon and I have toasted to a new trade deal, a far better one for us than which it replaced. Today, I will visit with and speak to our troops and also go to the DMZ, long planned. My meeting with President Moon went very well. This is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Donald Trump working to get a better deal for America, unlike Joe Biden, John Kerry, and their sons putting a corporation together and actually putting Chinese bankers on the board of the corporation. And then all of a sudden, they get a $1.5 billion donation within months of forming this corporation. Yeah, that's not what we need. We need someone like Donald Trump to absolutely go toe-to-toe with these dictators and these communists around the world to let them know no more. We will take no more. And it's all about the American people from here on out. And this at Hogan Gidley 45 happening now. Real Donald Trump stop at Osan Air Base in South Korea to address the brave fighting men and women of the United States military. Wow, talk about a turnout. If you look back to the background, you can see some F-16s and some A-10 Warhogs. That's fantastic. I was a machinist, and when the mechanics would have an issue or a problem with the F-16s, they would call our shop up and we would come out. If we couldn't fix it, it couldn't be fixed. We were last resort, and 90 to 95% of damage done on aircraft done by mechanics. Anyways, but I worked on F-16s, and my brother in the Air Force stationed in Okinawa, Japan, worked on the A-10 Warthogs. Just awesome stuff, folks. I love how respected Donald Trump is. I mean, as an airman, when I was stationed out in Italy, it was during the Clinton reign, and Hillary Clinton came out one time, and I think Bill Clinton came out one time too. The turnout, didn't want to see him, didn't care. A lot of people didn't even go, but you've got a lot of these military personnel who know that Donald Trump's got their back, rebuilding the military. And then Donald Trump to make a trip to North Korea, to the DMZ. When the last time was that done by any president? It has never been done by any president of the United States in 71 years. It has never been done. At Surfer Mom 77, today U.S. President made history. A great day for the world. Trump, Kim meet in diplomatic breakthrough. President steps into North Korea to greet Kim Jong-un. And for those of you audio only, this is an amazing sight to where Kim Jong-un crosses over a sand pit area, which marks the DMZ, the demilitarized zone. Kim comes across it, greets President Donald Trump, as Donald Trump then crosses over with Kim, shaking hands in North Korea. This is a huge moment in history, folks. This truly is a very, very big moment in history. Giving lots of hope to the North Koreans as well as the South Koreans. Giving great hope to the North Koreans as well as South Koreans. If you don't know much about North Korea and South Korea by now, there's some great documentaries. You can find just almost any one of them. Documentaries on the YouTube about North Korea, the brutal dictatorship that was installed 71 years ago, 1948, September 9th, I believe. 1948 by Kim's grandfather, who ironically was a freedom fighter before being installed, got recognized by Russia and the USSR, and then handpicked to join the USSR, and then handpicked to be installed as a dictator. It's funny how things work. One day you're a freedom fighter, and then the next day you're a dictator over an entire country and forming a brutal regime. So then fast forward all the way till now. Guys, Kim Jong-un was raised in a westernized society, went to school, went to college, loved basketball, and that's why you see him meeting up with Dennis Rodman, and Rodman wanting to come to North Korea because Kim reaching out to him, and we saw that. Guys, this is not the brutal dictator of the past. This is he's a young guy for one. It hasn't been too long since he was going to westernized colleges, wearing the clothes, living the lifestyle, and now he goes back to North Korea, and it is a complete despot. We have a chance. Donald Trump has the opportunity right now to make incredible strides in history because people in South Korea have family in North Korea. They're not allowed to cross the DMZ. People in North Korea desperately want food, toilet paper, a whole new lifestyle. They want freedom. And so now Kim has that opportunity to give that to them. Thank you, Donald Trump, for setting the stage and showing the world how it's done. And so, the memes got to make their rounds as well. Memes going out all weekend long about Donald Trump being over North Korea, South Korea, and Japan. And this at Hyde Hunt 1, deplorable Heidi. So thankful the dark ages that were the has been. Nightmare is over. We have a true leader of the greatest nation on earth. Thank you, real Donald Trump. Hashtag DMZ. And for those of you audio only, the top picture is Barack Obama behind bulletproof glass with binoculars looking, I guess, over North Korea. And it says, "A coward hides and peeks across the border." While down below, a real American president walks like a boss. And the picture shown of Donald Trump walking with Kim Jong-un. Guys, politicians don't want to engage other leaders like this and trying to talk with them and work with them and say, hey, you've got to stop doing what you're doing. It's a tough way to go, especially when those dictators may be slipping you some money, Joe Biden and China. This, another great article over at newrightnetwork.com. How Trump made history with North Korea. This at Garrett Smith, SMITH. President Trump has done it, stepping across the DMZ. He has gone down in history as the first United States president to enter North Korea. Little Bighorn, D-Day, Korean War, and more. President Trump has done it. This month in history reflects the start of the Korean War, which began in 1950. Since then, tensions over North Korea have been escalating in America until President Trump and his brave negotiations with the dictator. For truly, folks, this is a great article. Go down through it. A lot of historical facts, a lot of history right there that he documents that have happened in this month. Absolutely follow Garrett Smith and read his articles. Some great stuff over there at New Right Network. And this at Charlie Kirk 11. Fact, when Joe Biden was in the White House, North Korea launched a missile every 24 days on average. Under Trump, missile testing has stopped. Denuclearization is in progress. American remains coming home. Peace on the peninsula. Yet Obama is the one with the Nobel Peace Prize. Yeah, everybody's talking about the Nobel Peace Prize with Donald Trump. Some are saying too soon. Some are saying give it to him now. But remember back, flashback, Barack Obama takes office and immediately gets the Nobel Peace Prize. He even asked him, he said, what I get this for? I don't even know what I get this for. Guys, this is what it is, and this is how we're showing it to you, because these are the facts that the Democrats don't want you to know about. Joe Biden, I'm telling you, you are an awful vice president for the American people. Barack Obama, you are an awful president for the American people. Hillary Clinton, the worst Secretary of State in all of the American history, 243 years. And I'm telling you, this is one that should go to prison. Yep. Folks, you guys know it. I know it. Donald Trump knows it. The American people know it. Hillary Clinton is going to have to pay for her crimes. Barack Obama exposed as an awful, wretched, awful president. And now we're seeing black Americans waking up and being like, wow, man, were we tricked. Yes, you guys were tricked. And the Democrats moving away, hashtag walk away. You guys were tricked. And now you're coming over to the big tent party that is Donald Trump. You don't have to be a Republican. You don't even have to say it. Just say, I'm part of America. I'm a part of the American Party that is led by Donald Trump. Thank you so much. Hashtag Blexit, hashtag Jexodus. That's what it's all about, folks. It's all about coming over to the Big Tent party. And this at Cat the Hammer 1, this is another great friend and someone to follow on Twitter. Thanks for clarifying that Obama never attempted a diplomat solution with North Korea. Bravo. This tweet to Ben Rhodes. Ben Rhodes is a Obamaite, wrote a book called The World as I See It, a memoir of the Obama White House. And he tweeted out, Trump is lying. I was there for all 8 years. Obama never sought a meeting with Kim Jong-un. Foreign policy isn't reality television. It's reality. So a guy shows his hand. Okay, so it's a fact. We know it's a fact. Guys, remember when Barack Obama was president, we had North Korea threatening, Guam, saying that he was going to sink Guam. He's launching rockets over Japan. Japan not having a military, using America to protect them, which is a whole nother story in it together. But yeah, I mean, what do you do when you've got a rogue dictator just wreaking havoc over there? You do what Donald Trump does. You don't do appeasement. Appeasement has never worked. George Washington found that out, and the Founding Fathers found that out early on with the Barbary pirates in Tripoli, folks. That's why Tripoli, from the shores of Tripoli. That's why that song was written. It's because of what we had to deal with when it came to Islam and the Barbary pirates. Hey, I guess it's par for the course for Barack Obama. I mean, he is a Muslim. So that's probably why he's capitulating and appeasing for 8 straight years to them and the Muslim Brotherhood and CARE. Don't get me started on that. Oh, my goodness. And this at zerohedge.com. The link is in the show notes. So jump down the description below and go over the show notes, get the link. All-out brawl. Trump's press secretary roughed up during scuffle with North Korean guards. As fake news, CNN, Jim Acosta said that it was a bruised battle brawl. Remember, fake news, Jim Acosta said she was bruised and battered. And here's the video. Watch carefully. Okay, the camera guy is running around the corner, coming up to the guards as Stephanie Grisham just slightly pushes back just a little. I mean, there was no scuffle. There was no bruise. There was no battered. I'll tell you who's battered. Who's battered is Jim Acosta. She was just trying to get the press through, trying to help out. She just, used her hip and kind of moved the guard off to the side. That guard wasn't even looking at her. He didn't even know what was going on. Come on, man. See, that's why you guys come here every single night, Monday through Friday, 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern. SmythTV. Giving you the real news, exposing the fake news. Don't believe it. You hear it here first, guys. Stephanie Grisham able to handle herself, and no, I highly doubt she's bruised. And she's the kind of woman that if she did get a bruise, would cover it so that fake news CNN and she wouldn't show any kind of that she's not tough, because she is one tough cookie. Absolutely excited that she's taking over for the phenomenal Sarah Huckabee Sanders. And Donald Trump tweeting out about it, Donald Trump talking about it. And this is exciting, guys. I am really excited about Donald Trump and what he is doing to help make America great again. And this, after 3.5 years, our wonderful Sarah Huckabee Sanders will be leaving the White House at the end of the month and going home to the great state of Arkansas. She is a very special person with extraordinary talent who has done an incredible job. I hope she decides to run for governor of Arkansas. She would be fantastic. Sarah, thank you for a job well done. For those of you who come to the show often and regularly, you know that I've been out of town for a few days, so this may seem like old news, but I just want to put it back out there again. We got Stephanie Grisham on point for taking Sarah Huckabee Sanders' place. Donald Trump, you couldn't have picked a better. Well, back up. Go Stephanie Grisham. What she was doing before, she was actually press secretary for FLOTUS for Melania Trump. And then prior to that, she worked in Arizona. And when she was working in Arizona for the GOP, she actually helped set up Donald Trump's events, all his, the rallies in Arizona during 2015, 2016. It was so successful. And Donald Trump can see successful individuals. It was so successful that Donald Trump asked her to go ahead and schedule all his rallies nationwide. And that was her big start with the Trump campaign and the Trump family. She's been an absolute loyalist since day one. And I've reported, I've told you guys, when she was in Arizona, she worked for the GOP, the RNC, and yes, she did run Mitt Romney's campaign, but that doesn't mean that she liked him. She just did her job. So I'm not pressed about that whatsoever. And as we were talking about, Donald Trump did meet with China. And what is really going on in China? Well, China is ripping us off. We know this. Everybody knows this. It's costing us so much money with these tariffs that they put on us. And we literally put no tariffs on them. That's why you go to the dollar store and you find goods and services made in China for 25 cents and 50 cents. And it's junk for the most part. But so Donald Trump tweets out, at Real Donald Trump, I had a great meeting with President Xi of China yesterday, far better than expected. I agreed not to increase the already existing tariffs that we charge China while we continue to negotiate. China has agreed that during the negotiations, they will begin purchasing large amounts of agricultural products from our great farmers at the request of our high-tech companies. And President Xi, I agreed to allow Chinese companies, Huey, to buy products from them, which will not impact our national security. Importantly, we have opened up negotiation again with China as our relationship with them continues to be very good. The quality of the transaction is far more important to me than speed. I am in no hurry, but things look very good. There will be no reduction in tariffs currently being charged to China. How about that, guys? Keeping the tariffs on China, having China, not making them, but working a deal with China where they're buying goods and services from America, specifically in the farming industry. Someone had made mention that you would talk about the art of the deal. Donald Trump just sold rice to China. Come on, man. I'm just saying. Think about that. Donald Trump just sold rice to China. This is amazing. Donald Trump putting his money where his mouth is and making it happen. This is never happened under Barack Obama. This would have never have happened under the Clintons. I seriously don't think this would ever happen under the Bushes either. This is not what they were about when it came to foreign policy or diplomacy. And for those of you who say, I hate when Donald Trump tweets out, or somebody says that to you, tell them this. This is what Donald Trump is tweeting out. He's tweeting out about foreign policy, giving us updates of his meetings. You want to talk about transparent president? This is the most transparent president we have ever had, hands down. As we shift gears real quick to the Democrats in their 2020 run, the Senate bill that was going through last week. And I know, guys, I'm just getting back on board, coming back online here Monday, my first day back from the recreational period I had in Las Vegas. Everything went well. I didn't get rich, but I didn't lose anything, so we're all good. A lot of R&R, rest and relaxation with the wife and I. Got to hang out at the poolside and didn't have kids for 4 days, so it was pretty phenomenal. But last week, the Senate bill, it passed 84-8. Phenomenal, Mitch McConnell. Great job. The final House vote for Nancy Pelosi, 305 to 102, which included far more Republicans in favor, 176, than Democrats, 129. It left House liberals furious because Nancy Pelosi, she's losing her party, guys. AOC wouldn't sign this. They're railing against the illegal. They're railing against immigration and not allowing them to just flood over the borders, open borders. That's all they want to do. And so now Nancy Pelosi, according to the New York Times article, she buckled. She's losing it and she's buckling. It's a big loss for Nancy Pelosi. A loss for Nancy Pelosi. How about a win for America? How about a win for those on the border? How about a win for just a humanitarian crisis in general? $4.6 billion that Donald Trump is going to get. And we know he's going to use it in the right way. He's done it before. He's going to do it again. And this at Cat the Hammer one, Dear Kamala, there won't be anything left to give to Americans because you are all in for illegals. I see you're trying to find that moral compass. I'm sure if you look hard enough, you'll find it under Willie's desk. Yikes! And that was to Kamala Harris, where she tweeted out, for millions of seniors, Social Security and Medicare mean the difference between getting by and living in poverty. As president, I will oppose any cuts to these vital programs. Oppose those vital cuts to those programs, and also give, in the state of California now, 100% free health care, dental, vision, health, everything to illegal aliens. Kamala Harris, yes, that's what you're doing, and you're wrecking the economy in California. This is going to wreck, literally, America. We can't afford this. Nobody could afford this, and this is what they want. If they don't know what they're doing, they've been truly gaslit. If they don't know what they're doing, they truly have been convinced through propaganda that communism, socialism works, where we know on display it doesn't. And this tweeted out by our good friend, calling out Elizabeth Warren, who tweeted out, the attacks against Kamala Harris are racist and ugly. Okay, whatever. She lied. She lied during the debate, and this at JillyBean557, a good one to follow. Do you condone lying? ? Silly question, of course. You do, Pocahontas. And this is where she said she lied. Kamala Harris said she was in second integrated class in Berkeley, but the yearbook pictures prove she absolutely lied. And this tweet from our good friend at Jelly_Cat, throwing down on Anna Navarro, who is a hardcore never-Trumper, claimed to be a Republican, but they're never possible. So Jellycat tweeted out to her, Dear Anna Navarro, Kamala Harris was born October 1964 in Oakland, California, to Tamale Indian mother and a Jamaican father. Her mother, Shamala Harris, was a breast cancer scientist who immigrated to the United States from China in 1960. She's not African American. Fact. This is what we got to do. We got to call all these knuckleheads out. They know that by playing the race card that they'll be able to garner some, or if not all, of the race vote. Look, this is identity politics at its worst right here. Trying to literally paint Kamala Harris as a black American because of the color of her skin. This is the racist Democrat Party, #Blexit. That's why Candace Owens, now a huge Trump supporter, created Blexit, an opportunity for black Democrats to walk away from the party altogether. This is the insanity of Beto I've Lost It O'Rourke, our good friend at SecUSA1, SEK. Presidential candidate Beto O'Rourke says immigrants have no choice but to come here because of U.S. climate change.
And we've got to remember that they are fleeing the deadliest countries on the face of the planet today, compounded by drought that was caused not by God, not by Mother Nature, but by us. Man-made climate change, our emissions, our excesses, our inaction in the face of the facts and the science. When it is that deadly, and when you're unable to grow your own food to feed yourself, you have no choice but to come here.
Sorry, Beto. People are fleeing Venezuela because of your ideologies. People are fleeing these third world countries because these governments are absolutely corrupt. I mean, you saw all the money, the hundreds of billions of dollars that we subsidize all these governments. It's got to stop. We're actually causing more of a problem by subsidizing welfare states in these different countries that are destroying their economies. They're destroying the industries. And in Venezuela, there ain't no food. There ain't no toilet paper. There ain't no creature comforts in life. It's complete disaster because of socialist ideologies, socialist programs, free handouts that you advocate for, that the entire Democrat Party, folks. During the debates, that's all they said was, you vote for us, we will pay you. And in one case, one of the candidates said, yeah, go over to my website, vote for me, and check this out. I'll give you $1,000. What? $1,000 a month to vote for you? Something really illegal about that. And speaking of illegals, you guys probably saw last week the photo opportunity that AOC took as she went down to the border and she covered her face and kneeled down and was so distraught and angry at, the border. And obviously there's immigrants trying to cross the border and she's dressed in white. Fake news, guys. Fake news. Being exposed right here at Cassie Wears Heels, definitely another one to follow. Like I said, this was nothing more than a staged AOC photo op. She was protesting to an empty parking lot. Yes, folks, if you look here, here's the camera turned the other way so that you can see through the fence. And then there was another picture also taken. This wasn't, you could walk around this and there was nobody there. It was an empty parking lot. Her stage handlers better be on top of it because they don't realize that we are on top of this to show the fake news. Just like CNN, MSNBC, CBS, when they go out on site and stage a fake police tape rope off and stage all kinds, just to get... sympathy, just to get a story out. And it's all a lie, folks, and we're exposing it right here every single night. And this at Mel_Faith1, this is a die-in protest in New York for the 17 HIV-positive immigrants that died in detention centers. Roads are for vehicles. They look like roadkill lying there. And this at Tulla Arden, WTF. These whack jobs aren't even hiding their insanity anymore. I'm feeling the time is near, Patriots. We will have to fight for this republic to get it back 100%. And this article by Breitbart.com. And Breitbart goes into detailing a bill crafted by House Democrats saying that we need more refugees. The bill would up the refugee bringing in up to 100,000 more refugees a year. Man, these Democrats really need voters. I guess they're really sore looking at the polls, realizing that Donald Trump's poll numbers are up, hitting 53%, and in some areas, different areas that they go polling at, there's 74%, and polling with his base at 95 to 97% with his own base. Democrats are scared to death. They need more voters. So go get more voters. 100,000 more in their bill. Republicans growing a spine and going to shoot this down. I promise you it's going to be shot down. But again, this at the Testy Tar Heel. These poor migrants look exhausted and emaciated as their long journey and perilous journey across the desert on foot. Progressive Democrats are fighting to bring more of these migrants to the U.S. by tens of thousands. No, thank you. And for those of you audio only, migrants, middle-aged men, standing there at the border fence, shaking the fence, rocking it, throwing rocks, getting violent at the border. Guys, this is the border. This is what the Democrats want to let in. Guys, you've got to share this show with your friends and your family to show them what is truly going on. They are lying. They are using propaganda. They are gaslighting their people into believing something that is not true. As they attempt to pull the fence down so that they can cross. And this is a truly disturbing article reported on by OAN and tweeted out by our good friend at Winston Kofefe. Shocking, before leaving office, the Obama administration did what?
A new report finds the Obama administration erased hundreds of statements from the ICE website just hours before President Trump officially took office. According to the Sunlight Foundation Tuesday, 190 transcripts were taken down from the ICE website on January the 18th and 19th of 2017. The report raised concerns of a possible cover-up of Obama's immigration policies.
Everybody agrees that our immigration system is broken. Unfortunately, Washington has allowed the problem to fester for too long.
The deleted documents include statements and speeches by Obama-era ICE officials discussing matters deemed as politically sensitive by Democrats. The topics include sanctuary cities, immigrant employment authorization, and the conditions of detention of illegal aliens. Democrats have since blasted President Trump on virtually each of these topics.
We don't have to put kids in cages, send U.S. service members down to the border, deport moms who risk their very lives over the course of 2,000 miles on foot.
However, documents show that Obama-era ICE practiced harsh treatment of illegals to an extent far greater than President Trump. For one, the infamous caging of alien children is an Obama-era innovation dating back to at least 2014. Meanwhile, Obama-era officials arrested many more immigrants than the ICE under Trump. According to the Cato Institute, almost 440,000 aliens were arrested in Obama's first 17 months in office, versus 226,000 under Trump. In total, Obama officials arrested a record high of 2.4 million immigrants, earning the former president a nickname, Deporter-in-Chief.
In Christmas, the Obama administration announced that we're going to start hunting down children and women from Central America who are here seeking refuge.
Nonetheless, the Democrat Party is accusing President Trump of what they call inhumane treatment of immigrants. Democrats claim the president's crackdown on illegal arrivals could put the U.S. economy at risk as well. Some say the Obama administration's move to delete ICE records could serve the sole purpose of making Obama look good and encouraging those who sympathize with illegals to vote for.
I'm beside myself, guys, but you know that Obama and everyone working with him and around him wanted nothing more than to overthrow this country. We know this now through Spygate. And not only were they doing that to Donald Trump, but, oh my God, they were making it. They were setting it up so that there was no way that a Republican would ever be voted president again. We said it during the campaign. If Donald Trump didn't win, a Republican would never win again. Our good friend Trevor Loudon talked about that. He was on our show and interviewed him, and he said, this is never going to happen again. You got one last chance. And now we're seeing the details of what the Obama administration was actually doing. This is just more evidence that maybe Obama should be tried. And we've also been reporting this for a while, that ISIS down on the border. Now we have OAN actually reporting on it. This at Hirsch CHA 8720 and our good friend Ermi at SERRMMY.
Investigations, Chris Farrell told One American News how past administrations and U.S. mainstream media have willfully denied the fact that ISIS operatives are entering the U.S. through our open southern border.
The Mexican foreign minister about 3 years back, Claudia Ruiz, in a news report said that she was shocked that there was this culpable negligence, that this willful blind eye turned by both the Obama administration and major media in the United States, not discussing this well-known fact that ISIS was going to use our southern border to cross into the United States.
We've been talking about it for a while. We've been reporting on the information that we're starting to come across, and absolutely. But here's the thing. You're like, why would they just ignore the fact that ISIS is down there and not go after them? I believe that they just wanted anybody to come over to this country. They could care less. The more that they can divide the people through anger, through hate, through frustration, the more people will be willing to give up freedoms for more rules and regulations. Again, Democrats create problems and then promise to give solutions. That's the only way that they can get elected, is to create a problem and then promise a solution. It's this vicious cycle that they continue over and over and over again, and we're not buying it anymore because we're watching as Donald Trump in real time, making America great again, making the world safe again. Democrats don't want this because kind of like the doctor who cures you, what do you need the doctor for anymore? Or the broken windows theory. Democrats going around breaking windows and then come back the next day and saying, hey, I got a window company. Oh, it looks like you need some windows. Yeah, we're not buying that anymore. And as we get into the Portland, Oregon violence, guys, over the weekend, this is out of control. And this is what the Democrats do to intimidate, to bully, to threaten, to terrorize the citizenry in order to vote their way. This is what they do. If you disagree with them, they will terrorize you, insult you, beat you down, and do whatever they can, ridicule you until you submit to them. Well, guys, we're not doing that anymore. We are not. There are no more racist, bigot, sexist, homophobe. So the Democrats have turned the corner and have reached out to their sister organization, Antifa, to step in. And apparently, Portland, Oregon mayor has told the police to step down and let riots run. And this at Breitbart News, this Nolte writing, CNN's Brian Stelter downplays Antifa's brutal beating of Andy Ngo. And this is what happened to Andy. For those of you audio only, it is a pretty big riot. Antifa spraying Andy with some material of substance, hitting him in the head, busting his eye open, busting his head open. As a conservative gay reporter, this is the Democrat Party of violence, fighting out against anybody with a different opinion. And this baby Brian Stelter tries to say, hey, come on, man, call it off.
Conservative journalist Andy Ngo was out there covering rival protests on Saturday. Antifa on one side, right-wing figures on the other side. But as the demonstrations clashed, protesters, it appears to be Antifa protesters, then attacked Ngo. He's been out there in the past. He's been covering protests in Portland for quite some time. His critics say he's there to cause trouble.
Truly unacceptable, but you threw in there his critics say he does this on purpose to get people and to invite. No, baby Brian Stelter, no. This is your party, the Democrat Party, gone straight violence. Now a terrorist organization terrorizing Americans. And again, the concoctions that they're mixing up, they're getting it from the UK. They're called milkshakes. But it's not really a milkshake, guys. There are chemicals that are involved in this to cause burning sensations, to cause all kinds of problems. This has to be addressed by the FBI. This mayor has to be arrested and charged for allowing this to continue and telling the police officers to stand down. And this at Rita, Panahi, part of the discussion on Sky News on Antifa, the media, and the attack on Mr. Andy Ngo.
These people did not play fair. If Tucker Carlson and a gay Asian American are the face of fascism because they always say, oh, we're anti-fascism. No, that is the most Orwellian nonsense. These guys are thugs. They are the face of the radical left, and they need to be shut down.
Well, and our media should stop calling these people anti-racist because they're not anti-fascist, they're not anti-racist. That's what they call themselves to justify that kind of behaviour. In fact, they are totalitarian thugs and they are the most bigoted people you would come across. So for them to label themselves anti-racist and for the media to regurgitate that has to stop.
Yeah, correct. And this is just more of the violence that Antifa was wreaking havoc. Again, this is incredible stuff, guys. This is not the American news media. This is real news, not the fake news. Guys, we've got to continue to speak out against the fake news, the lying CNN, the MSNBCs. This is awful what Antifa is doing. They're using projection to calling us racist, fascist, when in reality, they are the ones that are racist. Those are the fascists. He said far left Democrats. Yeah, it's the Democrat Party in general. And at Cassie Wears Heels, he needs to be recalled from office since he can't keep the citizens of Portland safe from leftist Antifa thugs. Who's with me? This article by Breitbart.com. And our good friend at Red Pill Report, another one to follow, busted Keith Ellison photographed with Portland Antifa leader. Deletes pro-Antifa tweet. This at BigLeaguePolitics.com. And this our good friend at Coco_Bean10. Seeing as FBI won't take tips via Twitter, send them info the old-fashioned way. Here's Portland assault, who's been arrested multiple times. Get tougher at the Justice Department at Portland Police. And so if this guy looks familiar to anyone, please call the FBI and tip line and let them know. Here's the thugs that fascist beating people up. And just a heads up to all of you again going out July 6th to Washington, D.C. at Craig AR64. My question is, so does a threat like this being carried out warrant them being classified as a terrorist group? This at Law Enforcement Today. According to Taro, the threat is especially dangerous due to the use of wax muric acid, can be purchased virtually at any pool store or home improvement store, and is already dangerous on its own. So now we're getting reports, and FBI has been alerted that Antifa is claiming that they are mixing muric acid along with wax, putting them in balloons and throwing them at people. What happens is that the wax and the muric acid will actually stick to your skin and form a film, stick into your clothes and start to burn you, whereas muric acid you can just wash off with water. What's next? Napalm? I mean, this is truly a sad situation. Just because somebody disagrees with what you're saying, you violently lash out. This is the Democrat Party, and it's got to be stopped. Real quick, folks, another real great article down in the description below at Joy Reaper, exclusive. Jesus is building his church inside Iran, millions watching via Christian satellite. And so we're seeing Christians reaching out to Islam, reaching out to Muslims and saying, here is the way, the truth, and the light. And it's because of satellite TV. Women are calling into his show and writing into him and letting him know how by his speaking in his show that they've come to know Jesus Christ and absolutely be filled with the Holy Spirit. One woman reports that she fell asleep listening to his show and had a dream of Jesus that came to her saying that this is the way, the truth, and the light. We need to reach out to Islam. We need to reach out to the Muslims and say, hey, there's a better way. There's a better way, and it's not through violence and Antifa and Islam and the Quran. That's not the way to do it. And this ending on some incredible news. 2020 presidential election candidate accomplishments. Joe Biden sniffs hair. Bernie Sanders, free stuff. Kamala Harris slept her way to the top. That's not conjecture. That's actually a fact. And the guy that made her famous and slept with her and cheated on his wife has come out and said she has no chance. Donald Trump's accomplishments. Defeated ISIS, cut taxes, deregulation, millions of jobs, U.S. hostages, home, talks with North Korea, appointing judges, building a wall, embassy to Jerusalem, no individual mandate, deserted the Iran deal, VA accountability, VA choice, USMCA, Japan trade, NATO pays more, populism growth, exposed Deep Party, exposed MSM, exposed H. Wood, war on trafficking, 53 to 47 Senate. Guys, this is a beautiful thing. Donald Trump absolutely making these Democrats look so silly and so pathetic. Again, folks, if this is the first time you've been on the show, crush the share, crush the follow, jump over to SmythTV, become a Patreon. If you like what you hear, share the link to the show notes. Share that link to your friends and your family because that will take them over to newrightnetwork.com. The show notes will be there and the video for the show embed will be there as well so they can watch that too. Thank you for coming by every single night. Thank you for being with us as we round out Monday Motivation. Donald Trump making it happen. Thank you, everybody. We will see you tomorrow for Tuesday Thoughts. Peace out.
You've been listening to New Right Network, mobilizing, countering, energizing. Online at newrightnetwork.com.